Welcome to today's live stream. I hope you are feeling well. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Wasn't that lovely? We got some applause today.
Well, it's about time.
It is about time. So, but don't be so shy. Why are you so far away? Don't be so shy. Come on. Come closer than that. You don't have to be so nervous and shy. We are lovely here on this YouTube channel. Hi, everybody. Yes. Oh, we're not supposed to be having that yet. Wait there a second, Steve. You see, this is it. You see, this is why I like to be completely prepared before we start.
I don't know what you're doing, Mr. Duncan, so I'll say hello. Hello, everybody.
This is your fault, by the way.
It's not my fault at all. It always blames me when the technology goes wrong.
No, you weren't here. I normally get this stuff set up, but you weren't even in the studio.
What stuff?
I was already doing the countdown. And Steve wasn't here. And I was thinking, where's Steve?
But what's that got to do with anything?
Well, because
I'm here now. I was on time.
No, you weren't.
I was getting the meal ready. If we didn't get the meal ready, we wouldn't eat tonight, Mr. Duncan.
Okay, Steve. All right, enough of that.
Why do you have to always draw attention to things when they go wrong? Just carry on. Be professional, Mr. Duncan.
Because I am professional. And I worry when things go wrong.
Oh, well, this is a good start.
Yeah, you see. This is the sort of thing you're going to have. Hi, everybody. My name's Mr. Duncan. Sorry?
And I'm Mr. Steve.
I don't understand this already. Okay.
Do you want to start again, Mr. Duncan?
No, not really. Anyway, here we go. We're together again after a very busy week. And a very strange week because I've been away. Mr. Steve's been busy with his work, haven't you? You've been busy with your new job. You're still not sure whether you want to do it or not. It's a bit late now, to be honest. Because
Well, I've had the training, and I passed all that, so I might as well carry on for a bit longer.
Did you pass?
Yes. Yes, I did. Got through everything. So, I'm now safe to go and sell my wares to my customers because that's what this has been about.
It's Steve's new job. He decided to become a rag and bone man, going around the street collecting people's old junk and rubbish. And the horse arrives on Monday. What's that?
Poor Christina's had a bike accident.
No.
That's what she's saying here. The ground gave way and formed a hole and she fell into it. Didn't break anything. Some abrasions on my nose. Very sorry to hear that, Christina, because we know that you love bike riding. Well, I hope it doesn't put you off. Holes opening up on the road. Is it a sinkhole? They call it a sinkhole, I think. But good job that you weren't seriously injured.
Yes. Maybe there was too much rain, or maybe there was too much dryness, perhaps. Everyone talking about the weather. Here, by the way, I know we like talking about the weather in England because it is an obsession of ours, if I was honest with you. We are having a rather wet weekend, but we had lovely weather last week. I was down in London last week, and Mr. Steve was also in London, but a different part of London. He was doing his training. And whilst he was doing that, I decided to take a little wander around London. Here are some quick video clips that I recorded, just very quick ones. So there I am. You can't see me because I'm behind the camera, but there, the Houses of Parliament.
Well, that's exciting, Mr. Duncan. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Big Ben.
Yes.
Which, of course, is the bell. And not the clock tower. The clock tower, of course, is called the Elizabeth II clock tower. It used to be called the Stevenson clock tower, Did you know that?
I didn't actually.
Named after the works manager who actually had something to do with the actual clock tower. Anyway, another image. This is a familiar place, Steve, but a very unusual angle.
Is that Buckingham Palace?
It is. It's Buckingham Palace taken from Green Park. And that is a park that's very close to Buckingham Palace. And as you can see there, yes, look at that.
Looks very pretty.
It's very unusual.
Is that the back? Back of it?
That's the front, but looking from one of the lakes. Actually, I think it's St James's Park. I beg your pardon. And another. Can you guess where this is, Steve? Where is this?
Lots of people crowding outside, big iron gates. I think I've seen that on television. That looks like the entrance to Downing Street.
It is indeed.
To me, where the PM and his Chancellor live, and a few other high-ranking officials, no doubt. So, right, of course, there's high security there.
Always. There were police everywhere. So where is this?
I don't know where that is, Mr. Duncan. Two big towers. It's some kind of church.
This is the place where royal marriages take place.
St Paul's Cathedral? Westminster Abbey?
It's Westminster Abbey.
Of course, it's not St Paul's. That's a round dome to it.
That's got a big dome on top.
So yes, it's Westminster Abbey with that's the one with the black and white tiles on the floor, isn't it? I think.
I didn't go inside.
I think that is the one with the black and white tiles inside. Look at those two big towers. It reminds me a bit of the one in France that burnt down. That's got two big towers at the front, isn't it?
Yeah. You mean Notre Dame?
Notre Dame, that's the one.
And finally, there is me, all alone. I was alone last week in London, lonely and forgotten, riding along on the underground last week. I don't look very happy. That's because, well, when you're walking around London, of course, you have to be very careful, even though, I have to say, there I am, look, smiling at the camera. Even though, Steve, I have to say, I felt actually pretty safe. I felt safe. I didn't feel worried or concerned. And I have to say, because there were so many police around the area, there were police everywhere. Of course, most big cities, like a few weeks ago, we were in Paris. Same thing, same situation. Lots of security all over the place. And of course, I did a live stream last Wednesday from outside the Houses of Parliament. I did.
And I was watching a bit of it, Mr. Duncan. I was sneakily watching you while I was having my training. So there were people speaking at the front, and I was under the desk with my phone, looking at you outside, that lovely view of you, outside, looking over Houses of Parliament. So I was having a sneaky look, and I showed my friend at work as well.
I was on the South Bank.
You were on the South Bank, and
well-known rhyming slang.
I was staying in a hotel in Heathrow Airport, one of the terminals there, because that's where they decided it was a good idea for us to reside for the week while we had our training.
Why are you talking like a 17th century?
Reside. Well, they called it a residential week
of
training, where you reside, you stay for the week, all of us together. Lovely food. They certainly looked after us, Mr. Duncan. I've got to say, I was very impressed.
I did a lot of filming in London. I filmed, well, actually, I have over 400 clips, and I am going to make a video because I did do some short pieces to camera as well, talking to the camera. So I'm going to try and get that edited for the week, during the week. So hopefully by Wednesday, I will be able to upload that to the internet.
Can I show you something red, Mr. Duncan?
Okay, if it
this
makes...
is my new. This is my new notebook.
Whoa! Oh, everybody, wait! Hold the page. Forget about war and famine. Mr. Steve has his new red book
This is my notebook that I shall be using for all live streams until all the pages are used up, because the one I was previously using is full.
Okay.
So all the notes that I make about what comments people make, and then I repeat them back.
I think we understand the concept of writing things down.
Yeah, so I've got a new book, a red book, because red is a theme. You have red on your T-shirt, you have red hats. Mr. Duncan likes red, so I thought I'm going to pinch this red book and use it on Mr. Duncan's live streams.
Okay.
So good, lots of security. You felt safe, and I knew you were safe because I kept spying in on what you were doing. So good, all done. You're back safe from London, and I've got to say we were comparing, or at least you were comparing, the quality of the air in London compared to that in Paris.
Yes.
And I think that we both agreed. Well, I didn't go into the centre of London. I was at Heathrow Airport.
Okay.
And I think you thought the quality of air was much better in Paris than it was in London.
Yes.
Because there are still lots of diesel-powered buses and taxis in London, whereas in Paris they've all sort of gone electric or hydrogen.
Well, if you notice in London, if you've been to London, you'll notice that all the streets are narrow. Everything is very closed in. Whereas Paris, because of course Paris was basically redesigned, I think it was in the late 18th century, they decided to knock a lot of Paris down and rebuild it and make the roads wider and everything lovely. So that's the reason why. So I think the air in Paris was a little fresher than the air quality in London. And of course here in Much Wenlock, the air is pure.
Sweet.
Pure. Like this. Pure. Very pure.
Rosa asks, why do I need to be a trainee? Well, the reason for that is I've started a new job, and obviously the new company, it's different products, so I have to learn about those products, and I have to learn about all the company systems, and I have to pass certain tests and exams to make sure that the standard of what I'm saying is up to whatever level they want. So that's why I've had to be a trainee, because it's a new company starting from scratch. Although the sales part of it, obviously I'm familiar with, but every company is different and they want you to do slightly different things. So that's the reason why, Rosa.
Yes, very good. Today, by the way, we have a theme. We'll be talking in a few moments about sales.
Really?
When I mention sales, you might think of shops, but also you might think of going to a department store or a place where they sell things and you are looking for a bargain. Or maybe you are looking for something that has had the price reduced in some way. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at words and phrases connected to sale, selling, in the sales, going into the shop. When a person is selling something, what do we refer to them as? All of those words coming up in a few moments. And if we have time, towards 3 o'clock, because we only stay here now for an hour on Sunday, it is shorter than usual. So that's the way things will be from now on, especially with 50 people watching. There is no way I'm doing 2 hours. Absolutely no way. So we're looking at that, and also we might have time to play Fill in the Blanks. One time, hopefully we can do that. Congratulations, by the way, to Mosen. You were first on today's live chats. Okay. Steve once again wants to start a fight with me. Let's have a look. Oh yes, it was Beatrice. Beatrice was first. Again, I normally make a note of it, but at the start today, you see how these things accumulate.
Anyway, well done to Beatrice, Mosen, Lewis. With that, you were all very quick, and all probably at virtually the same time.
I think so.
Beatas, Palmyra. You were all there.
Yes, I think so. Everyone was here first today. Everyone was first. Everyone. So give yourself a round of applause to yourself now. So that's what we're talking about today. Sales, selling, selling, sales, and selling and sales. I've eaten too much food this week. I've eaten too many sausages. There's no answer to that. I've had eggs, beans. I've been well fed, thanks to a certain hotel, which I'm not going to mention. Otherwise, everything is pretty normal, to be honest with you, if you can call this normal.
Did you go to St. Paul's Cathedral? Asks Lewis.
I didn't have time to see everything. Even though I was there for nearly 5 days, I didn't see everything because London is big and you only have a certain amount of time to travel around because all of the different places are far apart. Also, there was a train strike on Thursday. There was a train strike. So certain stations were closed and that made it very difficult for me to get around London, unfortunately. So there were 1 or 2 problems, but nothing serious. As I mentioned last week, I wasn't attacked, I wasn't stabbed, nothing bad happened, and I made it back safe and sound, which is always a good thing. Well, for some people maybe. So today we are looking at words and phrases connected to sales. And we all like a bargain. We all like a bargain. I like a bargain. If I see something on sale for a low price, I think, ooh, I would like to buy that very much. I really would. So we are looking at words and phrases connected to sale, selling, words and phrases, people who sell things, people who maybe sell things on special offer, because we all like a bargain, especially these days. The cost of living is going through the roof. It's a great phrase, that. It means things are becoming very expensive.
High.
Yes. So let's have a look at some of the words, shall we? So a sale is a simple word. Sale, you sell. An exchange or transaction. So that's a good word, isn't it? Transaction.
Transact.
So it's showing that something is happening between 2 people. Transaction. Something is happening between 2 people. So an action is taking place. And of course, when you buy or sell, it normally needs or involves 2 people. One person who is buying, the other who is selling. And we have a transaction. So I like that word. We also have another word here. The action of transaction is to sell. So when you are selling something, you are offering a service or maybe an item to someone. And in return, you want some of this stuff. You want some moolah. You want some dosh. Money.
Money.
So the action of selling is a transaction. When we say sell, we offer goods and services in exchange for money, as I mentioned a few moments ago. Sale. Now, this is an interesting word. A lot of people get excited by this word. I think even Mr. Steve. Maybe one day he will go on to one of these car websites and maybe they will have a special sale of cars.
Money off, a discount. 10%, 20%. In fact, Rosa says, are bargains common nowadays? Mr. Duncan and Mr. Steve. Here they do a discount for paying with cash. Well, cash is becoming something which is very difficult to use in the UK now. A lot of restaurants and a lot of shops will not accept cash anymore. They will only accept a credit card or paying on your phone. Even parking, it's very difficult to pay with cash now. But if somebody comes around to do work to your house, a builder, some kind of workman, then often you will still pay them in cash, because they will always say to you, well, I'll give it you cheaper if you pay me in cash. Because, I mean, it's illegal to do it, but it means if you pay them in cash, then they don't have to declare it for income tax purposes, so they can give you a bit of a discount.
Ooh.
But whether they ever actually do give you a discount is something that is open for debate. But
Well, I saw it happening in London. There was a person buying some coffee and some snacks from one of these roadside cafes in London, and the guy serving would not accept the cash.
oh, right.
And they were having an argument over it. So I overheard this taking place. So it is amazing these days how many places will not accept cash at all. You have to pay on your credit card or your debit card, and as Steve rightly said, on your phone as well. So it is common. One of the other things I noticed about using the underground or the tube service in London is you don't have to buy a ticket now. You can just use your debit or credit card, and as you go through the gate, you just beep. That's it. You're on the tube. And then at the other end, you do the same thing, and then it will calculate the charge or the amount of stations that you've been through. So it's a great idea. So it costs about £10 a day. I worked out around £10 every day to travel around London. So I thought that was pretty good, to be honest.
How did that compare to Paris? I'm trying to remember now. Could you get a card for the whole day in Paris, or could you? So you always have to pay. You can get a special card, can't you, if you live there?
Yes.
For discounts, but I suppose so. You have to pay for every journey as you go through the gate.
Well,
Is that right?
you pay for the total journey taken. So as you go in and come out, you swipe your card, you tap your card, and then it works it out for you.
Oh, it knows where you've started and where you've finished.
That's
and then
it.
Charges you accordingly. Oh,
Yes,
right. That's
it's
quite clever.
Well, yesterday, Transport for London, who controls all of the networks of transport in the London area, they announced that they are starting to abolish all tickets. And they've started yesterday with the day ticket, which you can buy and then use the tube all day. So because now you don't need to have a ticket, they don't need to sell tickets. So all you need to do is just go through the barrier and beep, that's it. It was more expensive, by the way. It was more expensive travelling around Paris than it was around London.
Oh, was it?
Yes. Are you surprised by that? Yes, it's true.
So so you just got to pay for every journey then now in London.
Basically.
It doesn't know that doesn't give you a discount for a day. You just have to pay for each journey.
That's it. But it will always give you the cheapest or lowest price for whatever you've done. So you always still get a good deal. But of course, if you live in London, you can buy one of these special cards that you charge up. You just put money into that card. So it's great. That's the one thing that really impressed me about London was just how easy it was to get around.
So you don't have to queue to buy tickets.
No.
And I suppose they're going to save money because they will need less people working in the ticket offices.
Yes.
And they won't need those machines.
This is one of the reasons.
Print the tickets out.
This is one of the reasons why they're all going on strike. In fact, this is the actual reason, because many people who work at the stations are now being made redundant. They are losing their jobs. So that's one of the main reasons why they're all striking.
This is progress, and if it's better, then you just have to accept progress sometimes, don't you?
Even if the price you pay is your job. Here we have some more words, Steve.
Okay.
Sale, selling, words and phrases. A sale, a discount sale, or a cut price sale. So generally speaking, a reduction of prices on certain items. Now, I noticed a couple of weeks ago, if you remember, Amazon every year, they have their special 2-day event where they reduce the prices of many things. Amazon Prime, they call it Prime Day. So if you are a member of Amazon, you get good discounts. However, a lot of people have been complaining this year because they've been saving some of their goods that they've been looking at, not purchased, but just looking at. And then they've compared them to the Prime Day And it turns out that a lot of them were no cheaper. They were exactly the same price. So you weren't actually getting any discount or any sale price. And this year I didn't buy anything during Prime. So the 2 days, I think it's the 21st, or is it the 22nd and the 23rd, I think, of July. Oh, that doesn't sound right, does it? But anyway, that's what I noticed. I noticed that there didn't seem to be any good discounts.
Well, of course, we're still in this situation, I think, since the pandemic, where there is a shortage of goods generally. There doesn't seem to be a surplus of things. Certainly in big ticket items like cars, there's a shortage of them. So I think there's still a shortage of things generally, because we haven't recovered from the big shutdowns in the pandemic, which is, of course, why we've got part of the reason we've got high inflation at the moment. So because when there's a shortage of things, then suppliers don't feel as though they need to discount as much as they did before. So it may be a bit longer before we start getting those lovely big discounts that we used to enjoy before off things like cars. Well, the price of cars have been going up. Food's gone up in price. Everything's gone up in price recently.
But if you are pretending to offer discount and you're not, then of course I want to say that's illegal, or at least you are misleading people. So that's what Amazon have apparently been doing. They've been making it seem as if the prices have been reduced, but they haven't, because people have been checking on things that they've saved months ago. They haven't bought. So it's very, very naughty Amazon, naughty Jeff Bezos.
So what they've been doing is slowly increasing the prices.
Yes.
Up to the point where you have this Prime week, and then they reduce them back down to where they were, say, 2 months ago. So they've been, well, this is what shops do, isn't it? A lot with sales.
Well, the other con, of course, is what they call RRP, which is recommended retail price. So a lot of people use that as the guide for the saving. So you don't even have to have it at that price. You can just say that is the recommended retail price, even if you've never sold that thing at that price. So yes, supermarkets do this quite often. They will appear to be giving you something cheaper, but in fact they are not. They are, in fact, in some cases you might buy one thing that's lower in price, and then you buy something else in the same supermarket that's more expensive. So overall, you save nothing.
A few people have commented in the live chat that for tourists using a credit card, it's going to work out quite expensive because you have to pay taxes. Rosa mentions that. And I remember when Beatrice was here, I think if you have to pay tax, the country that you're from make you pay an extra tax every time you buy something.
Yeah, I think it's 100%.
So it's going to be very expensive for people using a credit card if you are from another country. And Lewis points out, of course, in Paris you can still buy like a week or a month ticket to go anywhere, and that will be cheaper. Well, you can buy this Oyster card in London, but I don't know if you can buy that as a tourist.
No, you can't.
So it's only for residents.
That's it. It's if you're a commuter, if you travel to work every day, so you save money over the month. So you normally recharge the account with some credit every month. But if you're a tourist, of course, you won't be doing that because you're only there for maybe 2 or 3 days. So you won't be doing that. But I agree, yes. It is good for some people. I thought it was brilliant. It was very easy. You just go through the barrier, get on the tube and get to the other end, and then beep again as you leave. And that's it. That's all you need to do.
Very clever.
It is.
But I'm sure at the end of the day, people are paying more.
Well, maybe. A cellar. So not the place that's underground, where you keep your wine, not that type of cellar. This is a different cellar. This is a person who is selling things. So a seller sells. They sell items. So that person sells items to customers. And in this particular phrase, we are using the word sell as a verb. So you can use the word sell in different ways. To sell something, you are selling something, you sell, and you are using it as a verb. So a shop might have a sale. They have reduced prices. So in this sense, you sell something as offering something for sale. And when you do it, of course, you sell that thing. You are using it as a verb. We can use some other words here. Yes, Steve?
Oh, I was just going to say, some shops overdo it. I remember Gap, or The Gap, as it's called in America. They always used to have these sales all the time with ridiculously high discounts, something like 50%. And it was very bad marketing on their behalf, because all it meant was that because people knew there was a sale every other month and it was going to be 50% off, nobody ever bought anything in between the sales. They did, and eventually, of course, I think that's why they've all gone out of business, because they were constantly having sales. I mean, it loses its impact, doesn't it, for a shop if they're always having sales?
Yeah.
I mean, once a year, fine, but if you're always having one, then it reduces. Nobody's ever going to pay full price for anything, so the shop doesn't make enough money and goes out of business.
So what eventually happens is people wait for the sales. And during that time, they don't go anywhere. They don't buy anything. And so during that period, the shop will suffer. And that's what we've seen happen to many high street shops. So you can say that a sale is a transaction. We've looked at that word already. You might say an exchange as well. So you might say that a sale is an exchange. One person offers money and the other person offers goods. Or, of course, you might sell a service as well, something that you do. Maybe a deal as well. We often make a deal. That means both people agree on what to do and how it will be done. And in this case, we are agreeing on a price for something. So the goods are exchanged. Or you might say that you have a contract of sale. And that's always interesting, because every time you buy something from a shop, you are actually carrying out a contract. And most people don't even realise it. When you buy something, you go home, a contract has just taken place. You've just almost signed a contract by doing that simple thing. Oh, this is it. These are the hardcore words now. A bargain. A bargain. Now, the word bargain, I suppose I should mention, Steve, that bargain can be used as both a noun and also a verb. So, in this sense, we are using bargain as a noun, which means something that is on offer, something where the price has been reduced. But of course, you can bargain with someone as a verb if you are trying to get someone to lower the price. I suppose another word you can use is barter.
Oh yes, you often see that in markets in many parts of the world. You barter. It's a different sort of philosophy in a way in different countries. In some countries, the price. I don't know if you can barter on markets in the UK. I don't know whether you can. Spitalfields
in London. They have a big marketplace there, and people will barter, or another word you could use is haggle. I like that.
Haggle.
Haggle. It's a great word. To haggle, to bargain, to try and get the person to reduce their price. So this is something that happens, as Steve rightly said, in marketplaces. But it does happen here as well in the UK. You can also haggle at the market here in the UK.
It's something you've got to practice.
Yes.
I don't think I'd be very good at it, Mr. Duncan, but you've got to have some idea of what the thing that you're trying to buy is actually worth.
Yes.
Before you start, because obviously they put a much higher price on it to start off with, and then you have to haggle, as you say, to get the price down to where it probably should be.
Yes, it's normally for things like fruit and vegetables, so nothing really expensive. So maybe you buy 10 tomatoes and you think the price is too high, so then you will haggle. You will try to get the price reduced. A bargain might also be described as a steal, which is interesting. So if you steal, it means you take something from another person without their permission. So when you are buying something cheap where the price has been reduced, it might seem as if you are stealing that thing. You can say that something is a great buy or a good deal. And we all like a good deal, I have to say.
Yes, if you say you've bought something and it was a bargain, if you say to somebody, I got this, it was a bargain, it just means you've got it at a much lower price than it is actually probably worth in reality. For some reason it's been discounted on that particular day or for whatever reason, and you've got it at a much cheaper price than it is probably worth. It may be that the shop is actually making a loss because they've maybe got too much stock and they want to get rid of it. But you come home and you say, look at this, I got these new trousers or I got this new washing machine. It was a bargain because you paid a lot less than you should have done, and you know you've got it cheaper.
Yes, and you could say it was a steal. It's almost as if you stole it.
Yes, it's so cheap.
Here we go, another one. An item on offer is being sold with a discount. So again, a very interesting word, discount. So if you discount, it means you are reducing the figure. You are lowering the price. So you give someone a discount. I suppose there are many reasons why you might get discount. You might get the price reduced.
Yes, maybe they've got too many stocks. They bought too much of it and they just want to get rid of it. Because not enough people were prepared to pay the full price for it. But that's the thing. When there's a surplus of something, then its value goes down. When there is a shortage of something, its value goes up. In general.
So a bit like diamonds.
Yes.
Precious metal.
I mean, unlike after the pandemic, there were a lot of things you couldn't get. Cars being one of them, because nobody was making new cars, so the price of second-hand cars went up because there weren't enough going round for people to buy. I'm sure it will all correct itself at some point. You had trouble getting hold of, you wanted something for your computer at the time, a graphics card, and the price of those was sort of almost double what it was before the pandemic because there were shutdowns, nobody was making them, there was a shortage, and when there's a shortage of something, the price goes up.
Yes, so you might find there are people who are profiteering from a shortage. So if something becomes scarce or hard to find, you will often find the price goes up, as Steve just said. So that can happen quite often.
Marcia makes a good point about food. When it's near its expiry date, it's often sold off cheaper. We see that a lot. I see that a lot with milk. Because these are items that shops have to decide how much they're going to buy in based on its expiry date, and obviously if they buy too much of it and nobody's buying it, they get a lot of that particular item that's suddenly going to go out of date, so they try to get rid of it. They sell it off,
yes,
sometimes at half price.
So it must be difficult if you are selling something that only has a very short life, such as milk or bread. So you have to make sure that you sell that stuff, or else you have to reduce the price. We often see a little sign on the products, reduced to clear, reduced to clear. And it means we've got to sell this quickly because it will go bad and then no one will want it.
Clearance is another word you sometimes see, don't you, on a shop. Clearance sale. It means they want to clear out lots of stock that they haven't been able to sell. And you used to work in retail. And you used to do that quite a lot, didn't you? You had lots of stock that hadn't been sold, so you had a clearance. You're clearing it out and selling it off at a bargain price.
Especially with clothing, because you have the different seasons. So winter clothing and summer clothing. So towards the end of each season, you find that lots of things are suddenly on sale. So to discount something, discount is to reduce. So the discount can be used as a noun, that is the thing that has the reduction, and to actually lower the price is to discount as well as a verb. So in this sense, to discount is the verb, which is to reduce. You are lowering the price.
Can bargain mean to negotiate, says Tom?
Yes. If you bargain with someone, I think I mentioned it actually, if you bargain with someone, that is the verb use. You are trying to get the lowest price possible. And of course, the seller is trying to get the highest price because they want to make money. So you bargain. You are both trying to reach a deal.
You're bargaining, aren't you? Bargaining with each other to agree a price that is agreeable to both of you. Whereas just something which you've got very cheaply is a bargain.
Phrases used to encourage people to buy. You might see these things in a shop window. You might see something advertised on television. If a company is trying to sell everything very quickly, you might see phrases such as, "It's a great bargain. It's a great bargain. It's a good deal. It's a good deal." Or, of course, we can say, "It's a great deal. It's a good deal. This is a good deal. You will love this product and you will love the price as well."
Of course, shops. It seems like shops are losing money when they're having a sale, and they might not be making as much money. But the problem with sales and clearances and things like that is it sort of, you almost buy something when you don't really need it. We've all been caught out like this. You see a sale, you go in, you buy something, probably make a quick decision, get it home, and it's probably doesn't look quite right on you, or it's maybe not quite the right size. We've all done this where we've bought things in sales and you buy almost as much in terms of the amount of money, but you've got more stuff. But then some of it, probably because you bought it quickly, and you can't return often goods in sales, can you? Often can't return them. You end up wasting it.
We are, of course, talking to the women.
Well, I've done it. I've been guilty of that. I thought, that's a good price on a pair of shoes.
You know, you women out there, you women, you know what it's like. You go past a shop window and you see 20% off, 30% off, and you go in there and then suddenly you're coming out with an arm full of clothes because you can't resist. That's it.
Well, we're all a bit susceptible to that, aren't we? And often you buy things like, you might see money off a pair of shoes, but you don't really need a new pair of shoes. But because you think, it's 50% off, I'll buy a pair of shoes. And then you end up never wearing them. So in fact, it's never a bargain, really, unless you're very, what's the word I'm looking for? Disciplined in the way you approach it. So you only if you really need something, do you take advantage of it? Whereas a lot of people see a sale and they buy it anyway, even if they don't need it, because they think, well, what happens if I need it in 6 months? I've got it, but then you forget you've got it, or you buy too quickly and it's the wrong size, or it doesn't suit you or something.
There is no greater feeling than finding the thing you are looking for in a sale. It has to be the best feeling in the world. It has happened to me in the past. Something I was actually wanting or needing in some way, normally for my studio. And suddenly you find that thing and it's been reduced in price. It's the most amazing feeling. They might also say, get it before it's gone. This is often used in sales. I remember many years ago, we used to say, get it before it's gone, because if you might only have a few of those things in the shop. So when they're gone, you can't get any more. So get it before it's gone.
Certain tricks of the trade, scarcity is always something that sellers use to encourage people to buy something. The fear that you might miss out because it may go out of stock. And they use that a lot on the shopping channels.
FOMO.
We've noticed. Yes, fear of missing out. They tell you, oh, we've only got 5 left. And then you go on that same channel, a week later, and they've suddenly got them all back in stock again.
Yes.
There's never really a shortage.
So it is a good way of getting someone to buy a thing, limited time only. So maybe this low price will only be around for a short period of time. Limited time only. Get it now before it goes. When it's gone, it's gone. There will be nothing else coming in that is similar. When that thing is gone, it's gone forever. It's a bit like life, really. You could say that. When your life is gone, it's gone. The offer must end soon. This is a very common one. So maybe you want to encourage people to come into your shop, and you want them to actually come through the door. We often call this footfall. In retail, a person will use the phrase footfall, which means the number of people actually going into your shop. The offer must end soon. You are trying to encourage people to actually go to your shop. Here's another one. It's a bargain, or it's as cheap as chips. Something low priced can be described as cheap. So we often see this word as a good word, but also we can see it as a bad word as well. So it really depends on the context of how you're using the word cheap. So something cheap can be a good deal, very good value, or it can be something that's not very well made, or something that's been produced, but very little quality has gone into it. So it's interesting, the word cheap, how that can be used.
I know, in my job, we're always encouraged never to use the word cheap, because it always infers that the product is inferior in some way. So if something's cheap, it generally means it's of low, poor quality. A cheap car or a cheap dress, there's going to be something of the quality that's not as good as you otherwise should be.
It can also be a bargain if you are lucky. Sell is to offer goods for sale. So I know it seems obvious, but to sell something, you can sell anything really. I suppose if something you are giving up that is valuable to you, and you have to give it, maybe you don't want to give it. You might sell your soul because you have to do a job that you don't want to do. So you sell your soul. It means you are doing something, but you don't really want to do that thing. But you have to, because you need to make money. You need to have an income. The phrase... Sorry, Steve?
Here's a good one from Saturino, a bargain hunter.
Oh.
A bargain hunter, somebody that likes to go around the shops looking for bargains, looking to get something less expensive than the full price. A bargain hunter probably ends up spending a lot more money than they should. Some people get a real kick, a real buzz from shopping and finding bargains, and it can become a problem, can't it, for some people, that they just can't stop buying. They get a real buzz, a kick out of shopping. But that's another story altogether.
It is. The phrase sold out means that all the stock has gone. So maybe as the sale progresses, as all of the things start to be bought, you run out, or you sell out, you have nothing left. A seller in business is referred to as a retailer, which where this word actually comes from is quite interesting. We might mention that in a moment. We will see what happens. So retail is the sector relating to selling. So a shopkeeper, or maybe we can use the word, I suppose we could use the word vendor as well.
Yes, that's the other phrase which is often used, a vendor.
Which I believe is derived from French. On sale means something is being sold at a reduced price. And then we have for sale. So there is a difference between these two phrases. If something is on sale, it means it is on sale at a reduced price. If something is for sale, it means it is being offered in exchange for money. So on sale is a bargain. For sale means something is available to be sold.
Yes, often you see that on houses, that you see for sale, a for sale sign. Just means that house is for sale, or that car is for sale. Doesn't mean it's being sold at a discount. It just means it's available to buy.
Sale derives from the Old Norse for sell. So sale is the Old Norse word. I think it's High German. I think that's how they actually relate to that particular word and where it comes from. Retail derives from the French word for cut, which is strange, really. Retail comes from the French word for cut, which doesn't make any sense when you think about it. The action of reducing a price to knock down, to lower, or to knock off. So you might knock something off the price. You are lowering the price. You can knock down the price. You can lower the price, or you can knock off something from the price. You are taking something off that price.
Yes, somebody might say you want to buy a car and it's too expensive, and you say, "Can you give me something off that?" The seller might say, "Well, I'll knock something off that for you," to encourage you to buy it. I'll knock off £1,000 from the price of that car if you buy it today, for example.
Satarina says, Mr. Duncan, a vendor in the US, can also be a delivery machine. Well, we have the same thing here. We have vending machines. So vending machines are automatic machines. You just put money into the machine and then you choose the thing that you want. It is doing it automatically. So you can do it without having a person.
In a way, it's the same thing, isn't it? Because that machine is giving you something. It's selling you something. It's dispensing something. So in a way, it is selling you something. There's just not a person there.
Yes.
So you can see where that word comes from.
It is all automated. And we have two more. Oh, we can say that we've knocked down all our prices. That's another thing you might see, maybe on an advertisement or a TV commercial, maybe. We've knocked down all our prices. And finally, this was mentioned a few moments ago, a bargain hunter.
Oh.
A person who likes to go out and about, searching for bargains. They are looking for sale prices. So something that is for sale, something that is on sale, something that has had its price reduced. You might go around the shops at the weekend and you might try to find something that is on offer. You are looking for a bargain. You want to have some discount on the things you are buying, especially at the weekend. Especially at the weekend. And there we have it. So those are many of the words and phrases connected to selling, having sales. Of course, here at English Addict, we never have a sale because everything is free anyway. But of course, you might want to help out my work with a donation. Yes, wouldn't that be lovely? So if you want to make a donation, you are more than welcome to do so. There is the address. You can send a donation. If you just won the lottery, maybe you are feeling generous. If you are a Saudi prince who is sitting outside his oil well, maybe you can send a donation as well. It would be most appreciated, and it will allow me to continue doing this. That is it, Mr. Steve.
Oh, aren't we going to do a quick...
We have no time.
Oh, right,
it's
then.
3 o'clock, 1 hour, and that's it. Yes. We will be back with you next Sunday, of course, from 2 p.m. UK time is when we are back with you. Hopefully my London lesson will be available on Wednesday. I have many hours of editing to do, to be honest.
No exercise for Mr. Duncan this week. He'll be sitting here in his chair editing all week.
I will be getting fatter and fatter as the week goes on because I won't be doing much exercise. Thank you for your company. Thank you for your likes. Don't forget to give me a like as well, because those thumbs are very valuable. You don't realise how valuable these are. Trust me. And we will see you next week from 2 p.m. And Mr. Steve will be settling in to his new job. You have your new job and you'll be getting used to that, I would imagine.
No sales for my customers. They've got to pay full price for it, Mr. Duncan. That's how I'm going to keep my profits high.
I like it. That's it then. We will see you next week, 2 p.m. UK time. We will be live again. From myself and Mr. Steve, take care. See you soon. And of course, until the next time we meet, you know what's coming next. Ta-ta for now.